Okay, in this video, I think we're on here. Yep. In this video, I want to share with you why you should focus on selling high ticket offers, okay, based on logic, based on math, based on return on investment, okay, and also based on how much value you can bring to your customers, to your clients, how much more value you can bring to them, how much more impact you can have on them while profiting in a much greater way at the same time. Okay, so I just want to share with you the math here and kind of compare two scenarios with you so that you can kind of visualize the massive advantage you'll take on and you'll have over some of your competitors if you focus on high ticket. Okay, so as you see on my screen here, I have two scenarios here. Okay, one is $100 offer, right, where someone pays you and your team $100 in exchange for a program or whatever your offer includes. The second situation here is a $5,000 offer, which is 50 times greater in monetary value than the first scenario, right? The big thing I want you to understand here is the amount of sales that need to occur in order to reach $1 million in sales. They should say sold here too. Okay. Scenario number one, at $100 sale, it's going to take us 10,000 sales to reach a revenue of $1 million. That's not even a profit. That's a revenue of $1 million. We need to sell 10,000 people that $100 offer to do just $1 million in sales, in revenue, okay? Second scenario, if you're selling a $5,000 offer, of course, logically now, you only have to sell 200 units. You only need to sell 200 people. You only have to convince 200 people to invest in that. Now you might be saying, well, Nick, that's cool, but it would just be easier to convince those 10,000 people to invest that $100, which is a valid argument, right? At the same time, you would also say, well, Nick, it's going to be way harder to convince 200 people to pay us $5,000, which there's some validity to that as well. But also consider this. What if you were fishing in a different pond? Is it really that much harder to sell a $5,000 offer to somebody with money than it is to sell a $100 offer to somebody that doesn't have the self-awareness that they really need to invest in themselves or invest in their life? One major lesson I learned early on was that it's really not harder to sell a $10,000 offer than it is to sell a $1,000 offer, especially based on the different types of people that would be buying those two different offers. It's definitely harder to sell something for $500 to somebody with a limited mindset, to somebody that's a lower affluent consumer, than it is to sell a $10,000 offer to somebody that values results. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind as well. The other thing that you need to understand is that there's a difference in how much it's going to cost to acquire those customers, to acquire those leads that will turn into these sales, right? Look at these two different numbers. 10,000 people need to buy the $100 offer. How much do you think it's going to cost to get 10,000 people to purchase that offer? And it's very likely you're not going to be getting people on the phone to close those $100 deals. That would be stupid. That would be a waste of your time. How much is it going to cost to get 10,000 people to go to a sales page, click over to an order form, or add to cart, and then go to the checkout page and buy a $100 offer? It's going to cost a lot of money. The margin on that $1 million revenue, that margin is going to be slim. especially with the rising costs of advertising online. Every single day, it's Facebook ads, YouTube ads, it's all supply and demand. The more people that are advertising on the platform, the more it costs to show your ads to people. That's how it works. So every day, the cost of advertising on these platforms increases slightly. It's, over the past years, it's just gone up. Okay? Now look at the other scenario. 200 people need to buy the $5,000 offer. Also consider the fact that if you're selling a $5,000 offer, you're not going to send people to an order form. You're going to send them to an application to apply for the opportunity to potentially buy, and then have them book a call with you and your team. Okay? The cost of getting those 200 people to buy is much less, not only because you're accelerating the trust building process because of the fact that you get them on the phone, but also because of the simple fact you only need to sell 200 of them. Your potential for return on investment, for return on your ad spend, is much higher with high ticket. Okay? Simply because of the math. And I want you to really understand this, and I want you to be convicted in your mind and totally sold on the fact that you should focus on high ticket first. I'm not saying that you should not sell a $100, mini course or something like that, or a $500 offer, or even if you had a $5,000 offer and wanted to introduce a $1,000 offer as well. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but you need to understand that if you want to be able to scale up past spending $50 a day, past spending $100 a day on your ads, you need to go high ticket. You need to have a large margin. All right? And if you're gonna introduce a $100 or a $200 offer, do it on the back end. Okay? Most people will tell you get people to buy a $100 offer up front, and then sell them a $5,000 offer on the back end. Right? The problem with that is if you don't have a proven email sequence, or if you don't have a proven process that is proven to convert a percentage of those initial sales into $5,000 sales, then it's not going to work. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money spent to see that whole system come to fruition, where it's actually going to get you a return on investment. Start with high ticket, focus on high ticket, and if you want to introduce a lower ticket offer, you can do that afterwards. And you can add it onto the back end of your system. Okay? I hope this makes sense. I want to be very direct with you when I say this, because it's super important. I see it time and time again. People try to create these 5-day challenges, and they charge $27 for them or $100 for them, and they're losing money for months and months and months, and they can't afford to lose money for a month. They can't. They're not Tony Robbins. They don't have the amount of capital to spend money for 6 months, knowing that they won't make the money back until 6-7 months into running ads. Most people don't have that kind of capital to do that. Okay. So I want you to really understand this and really get sold on the fact that you should definitely focus on high ticket, and it's okay to focus on high ticket. It's a good thing. You can provide more value to your customers, to your clients through high ticket than you can through a $100 or a $200 offer. Remember that. The more you charge, the more value you are able to provide to your following, to your customers. All right? Hope this makes sense, and I'll see you real soon.